What's up, guys? Welcome back to the NVDM Coaching YouTube channel. I'm Coach Jules, and today we're going to be going over a few tips for open water swimming. The first tip is on sighting in general. There are two different ways that you can sight. The first way being when you're swimming, just slightly looking up ahead of you and then putting your head back down. Another way, and this is the way that a lot of people sight, is when you're swimming, as soon as your leading arm is coming through the water, just looking up and then over to breathe and back in. The way you can think about it is we want to have alligator eyes on top of the water. So the break of the water just hitting slightly under your eyes. We don't want to be lifting our entire head while sighting because then our back half is going to sink, and we also don't want to breathe and then sight. We want to sight and then breathe. You can practice this in the open water, but as we're coming into these spring races, it's pretty hard in the winter months. There's not a lot of open water swimming opportunities, so you can practice this in the pool. Just pick something to sight while you're in the pool and sight 2 times every 25 meters. So now that we've hit the basics of sighting, that's going to lead us into tip number 2, which is picking an object to sight. This is really important because this is what's going to allow us to swim straight. So if it's in a race, it's going to be one of the buoys on the course. If it's in training, if it's in open water in training, it's an object that you can easily see and that'll help you stay straight in the water. Or if it's in the pool, picking an object right in front of you as well. In a race setting, I always tell my athletes to swim closest to the buoys. This way you can really get a good idea on if you are swimming straight or not, because if you're taking a couple of strokes and you can clearly see the buoy, and then you take a stroke and the buoy is in the complete opposite direction, you know you're not swimming straight and there's something to correct. But luckily, if you are using those buoys as a guide to help swim straight, it's not going to take you too off course. The third tip that we're going to cover today is on drafting. Now, drafting in the swim is going to allow you to swim at your race pace just for less effort. The way we want to go about drafting in a race is if you notice that you're swimming side by side with another athlete for a good duration of time, get behind them, get in their draft. We don't want to be so close behind them to where we're hitting their feet because then that's just going to slow them down. We want to be just behind them to where we can almost touch their toes, but not quite. This is going to be able to get you in their draft and you're going to be able to swim more efficiently for less effort. You can practice this in the pool if you go to a master swim class or if you're just swimming with teammates in the water. Practice drafting because it's going to help you a lot on race day. Tip number 4 is wearing and practicing in your wetsuit before race day. You hear everyone say, don't try something new on race day. This applies to a wetsuit as well. Even if you've used the wetsuit before, but you haven't raced in a while, make sure you are practicing in a wetsuit before race day. If you don't, a wetsuit can feel very restricting and restrict your breathing, which is going to cause a panic attack in the water. But if you are swimming in your wetsuit prior to the race and you're used to it, you shouldn't have a problem and you'll be able to swim smooth and efficient.